What's going on, guys? In this video, I'm gonna see if Crenova's big brother is actually better. So in a previous review video, I did the Crenova video projector, and this is pretty nice. It is a nice little projector for under $100 that can get you a pretty big screen in your house. And it did have some downsides that I went over. Its native resolution really isn't the best, but it is small, compact. You can carry this thing anywhere you go and have a huge display. But the number one thing for me is the resolution. So it's a little bit after I did the review on that one, they came out with a new one. And I just got it. So for the new model, the resolution has increased to 720 compared to the old model, which was only 480. So there is a big increase for resolution, but with that increase comes an increase in price. The old little portable projector one, the one that I reviewed, is about 90 bucks on Amazon. And this one here is a little over 200. So you are paying for that extra resolution, plus it's the new model. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this out of the box. We're going to compare it side by side with the old one, check its resolution, its lumen, its brightness, and just overall, which one would you pick? Okay guys, so here it is. This is the XPE 660. Like I said, this is the new model, so let's open this up and see what's inside. So already I can tell that this one is gonna be much bigger just based on the box, and now taking it out, I can see that it's also gonna be a lot bigger. I don't know if they marketed the old one as a portable projector, but this one I don't think is gonna be marketed as such. This one is quite a bit bigger. Now this is the standard size that you would think a projector would be. Let me grab the old one, and that is the size difference between the two. So this is definitely a small portable one, kind of like a Bible size is how I would explain it. Pretty thick, but that's what it looks like. And of course your standard projector looking. Hopefully this one's gonna be a bit quieter. So inside the little box that it comes with, HDMI cable, power cord, along with your component cables, another remote, and all of their reading materials, so pretty standard. So the first thing you notice here on the top of the projectors is the old one has these plastic clicking buttons on top for any of your menu navigation. And over here on the new one, we have softer clicking type buttons, a little bit nicer touch to them. I do like the clicking on these ones a little bit better, but that doesn't really matter. Also here on the old one, you do have your plastic focus wheel, and on top here, you do not have any sort of focus here. Moving to the back of the old one, you have your power supply. Of course, you have your focus here on the back, the IR blaster, you have your SD card and the VGA. With the new one, you actually do get a few more handy things. You have your IR blaster, you have your two USBs, you have two HDMIs. Now this is one of the things I didn't like about the old one, but this one has two, so you don't need a splitter and you can have two things plugged in at the same time. Then of course you have your power outlet here, and you have a switch for your on and off for the power, so you don't have to unplug it like they recommend they do in the old one. Not really important, just kind of saves the life of it. And on the left side, you've got some ventilation on the old one. Same applies to the new one. You just got some ventilation over here. It looks to be a lot nicer quality. If you actually look on the inside, you can see some fins, some copper in there. So it looks like the cooling is going to be better. On this one, it is a lot bigger. I'm just hoping it's a bit more quiet than the smaller one. On the right side, you've got the USB, the AV, the headphone jack, and the one HDMI for the small portable. With the new one, you've got the same thing going on over here, but the HDMI is removed. So you've got the audio out, the AV, and the VGA, sorry. Now moving to the bottom, the new one has nothing except for these little feet and the little foot right here, which is actually adjustable for your height, compared to the old one, which right here you can put it on a tripod or any sort of mount, and this is where the little foot goes that you can screw into it. And of course, to the front, you have another IR blaster on the old one and the lens, and that is pretty much it for the old one. For the new one, however, you get a much bigger lens. You also get the same thing, the little cover, but it actually has a string that's attached to it, which is pretty nice. I was just putting this off to the side, but having it actually attached is a lot better. And unlike the old one for its focus wheel up at the top, this one is an actual turn. So you can see it actually comes out a little bit more, and if you turn it, it slowly recesses back in depending on what your focus needs are. And it looks like it has another IR blaster up here. Now let me open this up and figure out what we got going on. And another cool thing that comes with this is they actually give you these optical tissues. Now these are little sheets that you can rip out and you can clean the lens with. These are something that you use with slides. That's why they have a picture up here. I forgot what they call them for slides, but basically they're non-greasy and they don't have any sort of film or fuzz that you'd get with a normal cloth or anything, kind of like microfiber where it doesn't leave a whole lot of residue. But these sheets of paper are actually a really cool addition. So up at the front of the projector, this mesh, if you actually look in there, you can see the filter that they have. That front mesh, all of this is your air intake. So air is going to come in through here. And then on the left side, these are both air out. And over here on the right side, it looks like both of these are speakers. They have 2 holes there, and in the instructions, it just says that it has a built-in speaker. Even though there's 2 holes, I don't know if there's 2 speakers, but I will find out once we get this plugged in. So if you need to change the filter on this one, you actually can, unlike the old one. For this one, this whole top part, like I said, you can see the filter in there. This whole top part is your air intake. Over here on the side, you've got this little piece right there. You can see the outline of it. Really simple. You just push in. Oh, I just locked it. And then out. And there you go. There is your filter that you can take out. You can clean it, replace it, do whatever you need to do, and then put it back in and lock it in. Okay guys, so if you watched my previous video, you know that this little guy I had fit right above the bed on this shelf, which worked perfectly fine. However, because the new one is a obviously larger size, a normal projector size, this thing is, I don't think it's going to fit up here. So I might have to do something with that, because yeah. I mean, technically, it just barely fits up there, but it's right up against the wall, so I won't be able to put in my power cord. So I've got to figure out something. That looks so beefy up there. I got to figure out something, maybe a new shelf to put this up with. Okay, so here is my new setup. That's pretty much as good as I could get it with the supplies I had on hand. So my PlayStation's now up here, and the projector's here. Now for the projector, compared to the last one, the cords are exactly the same length. So the power cord and also the HDMI that comes with it are both exactly the same length. the thing is, I kept the HDMI cable from the old one to put onto this one because it was the thin style, and I really like that thin cord because it goes behind these a lot better. So I chose the thin cord. It's HDMI, so it doesn't matter. So now I'm gonna turn this stuff on and we're gonna compare. Okay, so just like before, once we get this turned on, you're gonna get into the main menu and you can go through pictures, movies, stuff that you put on through like a USB device or what have you. But what I do as soon as I get any sort of device is I go to the menu. So this is the remote that comes with it. And this one's like a gloss plastic compared to the other one, which is like a matte finish. So your M is you press that, you go into your settings. So all the different modes. And then if you want to go to S on here, that's the sources. So you can go to HDMI or whatever you want. And all of these are pretty self-explanatory. This one right here is, you can go into the menu and do this, but this one is a quick change depending on how you have it mounted. If you have it mounted like upside down, or I guess mirrored, upside down, mirrored, and then back to normal. So depending on how you mount it, you can actually change it through this, which is really cool. So what I'm gonna do is show you guys the mode here. So you can go picture mode, you can change that, the temperature, aspect ratio, noise reduction. You can go through a few things. The keystone on this one is actually built into it, so you can change it through here as compared to before you couldn't really do it through the software. It had that little flip thing in the back. And then you can go right, and then you can go into the sound. It, I guess, does have surround. I turned it on surround. I don't know if that counts for Netflix, because the problem I had before on Netflix is when you go into Netflix on the old one, you can only do mono. You have to go in every time and change the sound to mono. So I'm gonna see if this one still does it, or if it plays on surround 5.1. You can change clock, auto sleep, your language, and other settings, and that's pretty much it. So let me go onto my PlayStation, switch the source to HDMI 1, and we will get into the PlayStation. I'll start Netflix up, and yeah, let's see the difference. So already I can tell a huge difference. The screen is a lot brighter than the old one. Much brighter compared to the old one. And when looking through the text, it is a lot clearer. There's not as many jagged edges. If you look at it, there is still a little bit of jagginess. But overall, so far, it is much better. And I really like the added brightness to it. So sadly, if you are watching Netflix or anything else, it is not going to play in 5.1, even though it has more than one speaker and there's surround options. If you want to listen to anything, you have to do original and not the 5.1, or it doesn't recognize it. Alright guys, so overall, that is what it looks like. And the sound, you guys probably heard it in a little bit earlier, but that is what it sounds like. It's basically no different from the small projectors. The fans inside these are just loud to keep it cool. So it's a little bit distracting. If you have something playing, the fan and the speakers are right here, so if something is playing, it's very hard to hear the fans, but if you get to a silent part, just like any projector that I've had, you're gonna hear it. So that is one of the downsides. But this, compared to the small projector, it is an improvement. Like I said, the brightness is quickly the easiest thing to tell, and along with the resolution, you can see it's so much more crisp and clear compared to the last one, since this one's native resolution is 720 and the last one's native resolution was only 480. So it's a nice increase. It's not 1080 or 4K, even though this one says it upscales to 1080. This one does look much more crisp. So it's really up to you if you want to pay the extra to have something a bit better, nicer resolution, a little bit brighter, just looking good. I mean, if you're just watching movies, maybe it doesn't matter to you, maybe it does. But this one is gonna be about 200, a little bit over 200, like 210, 220, depending on if they change it. And the small projector one, that little guy down there, that's only about 80 bucks, but it still gets decently close to this one. It still has the same issues with a loud fan compared to a TV, the same cord length. This one does have an added HDMI, so that is something to remember. But overall, there's not a lot of huge differences besides what I said, obviously, about the resolution. So, do you guys think you would pay extra for this, or you would stay with the little guy? So I hope you guys enjoyed my review videos. I do these every now and again when I get some products I think I want to review. Like all of my review videos and even the videos where I work on cars, anything that I use that I feel is useful for you guys or you guys might want to check out, I link it down below into the description. Just click on it, it takes you to Amazon. You can look at it, buy it, or don't buy it, just for information. If you do want to buy it, it's there to buy. If not, you can look at the specs. Anything that I haven't gone over is on there, like the lumen ratings and stuff for the projector that I have going in the other room. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey guys, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. If you haven't already, make sure you follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram so you can get some behind the scenes stuff that hasn't happened yet and unreleased content that no one else has seen. And if you haven't already, watch that video. And if you've watched that video, watch that video. And if you've watched both of those videos already, make sure you subscribe down here. Yeah, watch this stuff. It's awesome. And if you've watched that, and subscribed,